My mom asked me the other day, since you've kind of planned to stay in Albuquerque now for a bit, have you thought about buying a house? To which I just burst into laughter because I kid you not, recently I bought 2 throw blankets at one time and felt very proud of myself. Like that was this huge luxury. I was like, I couldn't decide between 2 throw blankets at Ross, so I bought both of them. And I was like, boom, fancy adulthood. And my mom's like, are you thinking of buying a house? I'm like, bitch, I barely think about buying stuff for my house. Like,
welcome to another episode 27, Story, Success, and Stuff. The last of the season, actually. We had a phenomenal run so far, and the best is yet to come. We've got...
That's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I was thinking of really just letting it ride from here on out.
Yeah, no, we're going to have an exciting season starting next year, but this is the beginning of an episode about the beginning and the end.
It's also the end
of
this season.
Beginning season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the end of the beginning, and this now constitutes the beginning of the end episode.
I feel like we're in the Testament of Revelations, and it's just like the end.
Yeah. It's actually just Revelation.
Revelation?
Yeah, there's just one.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
The
book of Revelation.
I never made a decision in Catholic school. Shit. That's okay.
That's okay. By then it won't matter.
No, it won't. 2023 was a really phenomenal year for many of us in the agency. Also, trials, tribulations, tough times as well. How would you Instagram always has those like nice little grids, like my top 9.
Yeah.
Or there's always like recap reels. I started to make mine and then my phone broke because of the lack of memory on my phone. So let me ask you this. If you were going to create a recap reel for 2023, what would be in it?
Oh, this is great because I actually, in my self-mastery intensive that I've been guiding for our final assignments, we've been doing kind of end-of-year reflection and 2024 visioning and planning and things like that. So it's been so fun to look back at 2023. And I'd say highlights for me were my birthday this year. Totally epic, with friends coming out and staying with me and doing all of these really fun activities and just being like super celebrated. That's on the highlight. As weird as this sounds, because caregiving was absolutely one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, it was also one of the greatest gifts to like take care of someone every moment and like by hand, to just give fully of the heart. It was really exhausting. And I lost my patience plenty and all that, but it was such a special time to kind of like pay a debt in a way. Like Charlie added so much to my life, and then here at the end, I got to make sure that absolutely everything he needed was cared for by my hand, right? And so like that weirdly was a highlight. And though it's sad that he's gone, like being able to send him out of his old body and back into whatever playfulness exists in the other world or in the nothingness. Even the vet, when he was passing, she was like, "Rest in peace, Charlie." And I said, "Hell no, play in peace, brother. Like, get the hell out of here. You've done nothing but resting. Like, go play, be wild." So that was a highlight. I did a lot of festivals with my family this year, which was really fun. My big sis and I became festies besties, and we went to all kinds of different music fests and things throughout the year. That was really fun and bonding. Time with people that I love, I think, top the charts. We started this podcast, which was really fun. Got to do great retreats and speaking gigs this year as well that were really cool. Mm-hmm. This was a big year. This was a really cool year.
That's great.
Yeah. What about you? What's on your...
No, I appreciate how you just was very real with it, right? Like 2023. And I think one of the things, it was a really phenomenal year. One of the things I will say that I'm going to work on now before I get to my recap, 2024 was one I plan on really managing the tempo a little bit better. Meaning there were times where it was the highest of the highs for 2023, and then it was the lowest of the lows in 2023. Like I couldn't just be okay. And so that's my goal for 2024 is just to kind of maintain positively, right?
Yeah.
We had strategic planning recently, and I said stability is really what we want to, improving stability or enhancing stability is what, evolving stability was the actual theme. that's what I'm hoping to do for the agency in 2024. Like, if I was going to say that's my owner secret, setting a good goal or setting a good theme like that is a good theme to kind of kick off the new year. But
yeah, that was my 2023.
Yeah.
Was around stability.
Very, very big. You were a very big part of the inspiration for the strategic planning for 2024.
I will say for that episode where we were talking about stability, one of the pieces of feedback I got was that it kind of touched my soul a little bit. And I was like, that's all we need to hear. I was like, oh shit, you never know. We put this stuff out there, and is it helpful? Do people like it? I don't know.
Yeah.
And someone was like, wow, that was a great topic to reflect on. It kind of touched my soul a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I meant to send that to you. I forgot, but boom. There you go.
I realized that my mom listens.
Oh, see, my mom doesn't anymore, I don't think, but a lot of other people do that are loved ones in my life.
I love my mom to death, but she was like, I don't get it, and you should wear makeup. That's what my mom said. Okay, it's fine. She listens. That's all that matters.
Maybe she should just listen and not watch.
Yeah, I guess so. It's fine. Anyways, so my 2023 recap, I was going through my videos yesterday trying to put an Instagram reel, which didn't work.
Yeah.
January was I was at the White House.
Yes.
Cool freaking experience.
You got invited to the White House.
Yeah, I would do that again 10 times out of 10. February was a lot of ballooning, a lot of love, and that was a really great month just of love in general.
Yeah, I was going to say friends and lovers balloon rally, which I got to participate in and go up in a balloon.
Exactly. March was a fun one too, because that was when a little bit of travel for work related, but there was spring break, which was nice because I always try to spend some quality time with my kid around spring break.
Yeah.
April was the bachelorette party.
Yep.
The summer was just planning the wedding, which was awesome. And then August and September was the wedding itself, which was really an incredible experience. I would marry that man 10 times out of 10 again, like all the time. And I was telling you earlier, and I was like, it's definitely death to his part. Like, I'm really excited for like the dementia years.
Yeah.
Because those are going to be fun. Those are going to be great. Like, just messing with, it's just going to be like for 50 first dates. It's going to be great. And then, so we've had a really epic year. And then financially, like, the company set its $1 million mark.
It set it and hit it.
It set it and hit it. And it was incredible to hit that mark. And it's thanks to this incredible team. It was a very hard goal to hit. But it was very, I'm grateful for the team just being incredible at the work that they've done. Another thing that was really great throughout the year, too, a couple different milestones, was the fact that, we hit number 2 as an agency on the list. I talk about how financially, operationally, and visually, I'd like to make sure that Siarza is the number one agency in New Mexico. We're number 2. Like,
we're right there. 2. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we're significantly smaller than the number 1 spot. So
yeah, it's been a blessing for sure.
We did a lot of awards this year. Like, we just got announced for family friendly business.
Yeah. We got a gold,
2024.
A gold award there. Yeah. Another great idea. Another great thing that we had was we won best of show. We've had a little bit of a best of show drought.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been since 2019 since we won the best of show. And so thanks to Marissa's, we're back. The boys are back in town. But yeah, so we got that award, which was great. 2020 excellent award, or the Award of Excellence is kind of like what it is, right?
Yeah.
And Marissa did a really phenomenal job with that campaign, leading the team with Bernalillo County. So that was really fun to see. I'm trying to think of what other really amazing awards. Danielle got her 40 under 40. Epic year for her.
Totally.
And that's also, while we say it's an agency success, it's really her. Like, we're very excited for her.
Absolutely. The fact that it happens to make us look good. I mean, whatevs.
It just happens that she has a really cute outfit and she has a really cute headshot with us. That's even better,
True
right?
Story.
So yeah, we just had some really great milestones. I got my APR. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So what did I do in May? Yeah, I got my APR.
That's right.
So it was a really, really big year.
It was a big year.
Yeah, definitely tough on the depression side, depression and anxiety, just kind of hit me out of nowhere.
I knew that it had been a tough year because my Spotify recap, what is it called?
Oh, no. The Spotify recap.
Yeah, okay. So that came back with like my top artist, who is an artist I only listen to when I'm really struggling. And I was like, oh, apparently this was a tough year because that artist my actual number 1 artist was ABBA. But ABBA is a catch-all for me. If I'm really happy, ABBA. If I'm struggling, also ABBA. So that doesn't tell you whether or not I had a good or bad year, because ABBA works for everything. But my second artist was someone who I listen to. I'm really having a hard time. And so I texted my friend who introduced me to her, and I'm like, oh, apparently this is a pretty tough year, because I was listening to her a lot this year. So a lot of huge, wonderful, amazing things. And then a lot of, I need a little help this year too, for the whole, the soul and the heart.
So some of my sorority sisters do that, and a lot of women in my line of work do a lot of like goal setting and goal planning and visioning board in the beginning of the year, trying to map out 2024, like new bod, new me, new life, new me. And
I'm gonna go for a dad bod this year, I think.
Is
there a female equivalent of a dad bod?
It is. I was gonna say girl dinner, but no, that's not right.
I think girl dinner helps you get there.
I guess.
To whatever the dad bod is.
I don't care what I look like. Like, I don't really care if I don't wear makeup on the shows.
Do you hear that, Mom? Leave her alone. Let her be who she wants to be. Beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, so do you do that? It's like some of my sorority sisters do that. Some of it I'm like, man, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
no,
okay.
I actually, we talked traditions our last episode, and I do have some end of year traditions that I've maintained, and they shift, but consistently for me, at the end of the year, I start reflecting on the past year. I look at areas of grief, maybe things that didn't work out that I wanted to have happen, or losses that I felt, things that maybe I worked for but didn't come to fruition, just stuff to keep an eye out for what's underneath the goals before setting new ones, right? So we talk about the why a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I investigate some of that. I also look at my accomplishments, which was really fun to do this year because I had a lot, especially in the professional realm. I had some big things come up this year, which was really cool. And I always set an intention for the year. I don't do resolutions, and I don't really do goals per se, but I'll set like a theme for the year. And it's usually one big ticket item for me to work through. So this year was stability. Gaining that outer stability and security that I have not experienced before, and becoming okay with it and coming to terms with it and all of that. We talked about that in episode 25. And around October, I'll start looking at how have I met my intention for the year. That way I can play catch up if I haven't. And I also start thinking about what I want as my intention for next year, which usually comes out of looking at my areas of grief, which show me like, oh, here's some things maybe I wanted to happen but didn't, and I can bring them into 2024, as well as my accomplishments, and then what I want to bring in to my life with the new year. And then I'll set one intention to really focus on throughout the year.
That's like a playbook that you just wrote.
It's a really, really fun activity.
Yeah.
It's a little daunting because it can be a lot, but time goes so fast and we forget things. And I don't know about you, but the older I get, the faster time seems to move.
100%.
Yeah. And so it's like to pause down and actually look at it, all of it. That's something we didn't get to that I wanted to on episode 25 when we were like talking about the stability and how do you stick with it and think of the future, and the depression comes in and all of those things, and like actually looking at the successes along the way is really helpful. And this practice helps me do that. And then I go, oh, I actually can do some shit.
Yeah.
Let's rock next year. I'm way more capable than I gave myself credit for, perhaps.
Yeah.
And I bring that in with me to the new year. What about you?
I set a time frame for myself to really, like, the next 2 years, obviously grow the company to the goal that we have as an organization. But I really want to just enjoy life as a wife and as a mom. Mm-hmm. So my son's a sophomore. By next year, he's going to be a junior. And then he's going to be gone off to college, right? Or what he thinks is a gap year or a deferment, kind of waiting it out, trying to see what he wants to do, et cetera, which I'm all for, right?
Yeah.
But really just he just wants to kind of do his own thing, which I think is a great idea and a great opportunity for him. So I kind of want to just enjoy that part of my life because I don't know how long I'll have it, right?
Yeah.
I talk about my custody situation, about how I didn't get to raise Jonathan. That was a painful time. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I really love is, as much of a pain in the ass it can be for some parents, like the teenage years are actually really fun. Really difficult, but really fun. Oh, yeah.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, I know, right? But he's been an incredible kid. And so I want him to be an incredible adult. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on that. But at the same time, like I guess my career And the next steps with my family and my son are just really what I want to focus on, because I want to be, what I realized at the end after we got married, I tried too hard to be a wife. And I started like really saying like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm going, wait, I don't have to try so hard.
Yeah. Like who decided this?
Yeah. I think it was just the stigma or that expectation.
Yeah.
And you know, I also have to tell myself like, what do I think is good and what do I think is not good? And for myself. So I think that's where I'm, you know, and that's why it's helpful to have episodes like this, because I kind of think it through. I'm like, no, I definitely want to be more focused as a wife and more present as a mom. More present, I think, is the best way, the phrase that I really want to focus on.
Ooh.
But at the same time, I want this company to be even more successful than it already is.
Yeah.
While stabilizing it.
You've created a team that is quite capable, and so some of that can be delegated, which allows you to be more present. You get to have the fruits of your labor over the last 9 years.
Sure. But it's also now time for the others that have been here for quite some time to enjoy their fruits of their labor too.
It's true. It's tough. It's ongoing.
Yeah.
I think my 2024 is probably going to be something around finances. That's kind of what keeps coming up as I'm doing my reflections. And I had a moment that's like made all of this very clear to me. This is like TMI maybe in my financial situation, but my mom asked me the other day, well, honey, since you've kind of planned to stay in Albuquerque now for a bit, have you thought about buying a house? To which I just burst into laughter because I kid you not, recently I bought 2 throw blankets at one time and felt very proud of myself. Like that was this huge luxury. I was like, I couldn't decide between 2 throw blankets at Ross, so I bought both of them. And I was like, boom, fancy adulthood. And my mom's like, are you thinking of buying a house? I'm like, bitch, I barely think about buying stuff for my house. Like, I think you understand me to be in a very different financial situation than I am currently. Because I'm still playing catch up from running my business and supplementing my income through my own, like all, you know, the things that go into the early years of a business.
Yeah.
And coming back into the working world only in 2022. And so I'm like, buy a house.
Yeah.
I just bought 2 throw blankets at Ross and was
But were they
excited about it.
fluffy?
Girl, they're so fluffy. And I just got a gift delivered. Another throw blanket.
There we go.
I now have 3 new throw blankets. I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but it's pretty fancy at my house now.
That's really
Every
rad.
floor is going to have a new throw blanket.
Yes.
I know.
It's okay, from former business owner to business owner now. I'm just going to say this very out loud. I know everybody wants more money. I want more money.
Hey, come on.
And optics, I may seem like this badass entrepreneur. I'm fucking broke, just like everybody else.
That's the name of the game right now.
It's really financially difficult. And I hear people that are like, I'm going to look for another job to make more money. Not saying you, but I'm just saying in general.
I was like, you almost fired me in episode 25, so.
Did I? Did I really?
You were talking about like, oh, I can't wait to see you leave our doors.
Oh, yeah,
I was like, oh, shit, you're like low key firing me on air.
Am I going?
No.
Is this my exit? Is this my swan song? No.
Right.
Everybody's going to be asking for more money because during 2020, 2021, it was just like money here, money here, money here, money here, and everybody enjoyed it. And I get it. And I understand the challenges that everybody enjoyed out of it all. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying the economy is not going to be able to maintain what it's currently at right now. Yeah. Like Siarza is really just keeping everybody afloat. Not in a bad way. Like I'm not airing our dirty laundry. Like there's no additional reason for us to hire more people.
Right.
Keep the team that we have, be loyal to the team that we have currently inherited. Like we've had maybe one person leave and that's it in the last 12 months. Like that's great.
Yeah.
I would rather reward them than to have somebody come in and be like, I want more money for a better job and a better opportunity. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You even said it best. You're like, Kristelle, a lot of the people here in this team is actually making sacrifices too. I'm one of them.
We all are. Well, I think something that people who have not been, open with their eyes at the financial level, so somebody who's run a business or whatever, people who have only worked as employees don't recognize, because there's like everybody's bills have gone up. It's expensive, and it's stupidly expensive to live in Albuquerque. And I'm like, y'all, Albuquerque's supposed to be the place people come when they can't afford to live anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to have to get a lot cooler. I love Albuquerque. It's my hometown. But still, it's crazy expensive everywhere right now, including here. Mm-hmm. And so everybody's bills have gone up. That's the truth. But then when we expand that out further, that's true for every business as well. And that means that there's less money to go towards expenses as a business, like hiring a marketing agency.
Oh, yeah.
And so cutbacks happen everywhere. And so it's like it's this huge effect that happens all over the place that is one of the reasons I stopped running a business, is that trying to hold that harmony between all of the things.
It's hard.
So that you're employing enough people and you're doing it well. So that way you can do all of the work and have that be at a certain quality. Yet at the same time, it's that balancing act of the clients can drop in and out at any minute. Like, it's hella stressful.
Tough. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, when you talked about, you asked me, like, are you sure you want to work for someone else? And I was like,
I asked you that in your interview.
You sure did. And in my head, I was like, girl, you don't even know. Like, I am so ready to not have that responsibility.
And then when you said that, I said, I envy the position that you're in. Like, in my head, I envied that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, and Ed even said it best, right? He goes, yes, it was great that we achieved $1 million, but what I feel like it's that Thanos moment. At what cost did it give? Did it bring to you? Or like, what was the line? Justin, you're my fellow nerddom. When Thanos said, what did you have to sacrifice in order to get here? You know what you want?
What did it cost you?
What did it cost you? It cost us. It cost me everything. That's what Thanos said at the end of Endgame, right?
So are you saying you're a supervillain?
I'm saying that I'm purple. Just kidding.
Oh.
No. What I'm saying is, like, he illustrated how that percentage of net profit, while we ended at 19 last year, we're only ending at 9%. And for the numbers people, and that's the NOI, right? And so you're like, well, that sucks that you only got 9%. And agencies are typically in like the 15 to 20 percentile range.
Right. But you also made a huge commitment to raise wages
because
this year.
Yeah, because I too was just like, why the fuck is my butter? Remember when eggs were like $6 a dozen? What the shit?
I buy pasture raised eggs, so they're way more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, except at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
They've maintained, I don't know what their egg source is. They're part of like some egg cartel, but you can get pasture raised eggs for like $5.
You guys are really mean. Okay, so you're talking about eggs, and then Justin's eating a damn Uncrustable, and I'm like, I'm hungry here.
Right?
Like, this is not fair. And shit's expensive, but no, I get that.
I was
right?
like, if it helps, I can tell you what goes on for factory farmed eggs, and that'll kill your appetite real quick. Am I right, vegan?
Yeah.
Boom. This dude has some shit figured out.
But, you know, going back to like the beginning of the end, right? So like, I appreciate how my fellow business owners are out here talking about how great of a year that they are having. More power to you. But there's also those business owners that are like, this was a very tough financial year and I don't know if I'm going to make it in 2024.
Yeah.
I hear you. I see you. I feel you. It is what it is. Like, this is the nature of the economy that we're in.
It's true. And I will throw, because I'm kind of the weirdo in the room, when somebody talks about like, oh, my business failed, or I got divorced, or I just got fired, I'm always like, hooray! And I feel really excited for people when that happens.
Yeah.
I love endings because I believe everything's a win-win. I believe in a benevolent universe that's aligned with our best and highest good at all times, even if it doesn't feel like it and it's a mystery. But I really do believe that given enough time, all things align for our best and highest good. And so when someone has the universe do something for them, perhaps which they could not do themselves, it opens them up for a new beginning that is more aligned with who they are today. Mm-hmm. And so even though they're super hard and they're scary, and I'm all for grieving and going through the process, I love when people come to endings. And my mom taught us something all the time growing up. She would always say when we would be in a tough moment, like, I can't wait to see what good will come from this. She would encourage us to affirm that, to just affirm the good. And I can't wait to get excited about it. I can't wait to see what good will come from this. And to hold that mentality, not Pollyanna style of like pretending it's not tough. Like, you got to do all the feels.
Pollyanna. Mm-hmm.
But to also, back in the day, youngsters, look it up. Oh God, I just said youngsters.
Yeah.
I think we've hit an ending for me and it's called my youth. That's done now.
It's all right, help me.
But yeah, just to get excited about endings, recognizing there's a new beginning at the turn of all of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I remember when my son, not to talk about his private, he was going through a tough time. It was a breakup. I'll allow that. Oh. He's 15. He was 15 when it happened.
Those are some of the worst heartbreaks.
Those are the early ones. The early ones, because that really like sets the tone of confidence for you or for yourself, right? And so when he was in a shitty state of mind, I was just telling him onward and upward, bud.
Yeah.
Or look at what exciting opportunities you might have. And I told him, like, I've had multiple heartbreaks before my husband, and those heartbreaks always become a new beginning. In fact, I was using the X's as like mile markers in my life, like U.S. presidents. You just remember history by U.S. presidents. Yeah. I remembered what had happened by ex-boyfriends.
I always joke that my life's a whole lot like the Bible. There's a man's name at the top of every chapter.
Such a good one. Can we put that in the trailer? Damn. Anyways, it's totally true. And so, and I'll never forget, I think I told this story once about how a gal professionally, did I tell you that story on the podcast?
I don't know. You've only said like 4 words of it.
Oh, okay.
A gal professionally.
She got a divorce. Because when I saw her and I met up with her at like one of the professional Albuquerque events, she changed her last name. And her last name was a very distinct last name. And then it changed. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were, it was like a, if I say it, everybody's going to know who it is. And so I said, and she goes, no, I actually got a divorce. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love we talked about this on failure, the failure episode number 2.
Episode number 2.
Throwback Friday.
I felt like such an asshole. And like, I even told another friend of mine who just recently got divorced, I said, I know it's really fresh, but just know that in my head, I'm saying congratulations to you, because I know this is a new beginning and it's all going to be onward and upward from here. And that's the beauty of the end of one chapter is the beginning of a next.
I had the best analogy for this placed in front of me last week or a couple weeks ago when I was really struggling with grief. And I was talking to someone who recently went through losing a pup. And I was like, what'd you do? Like, how do you get through it? I know it. I know I'll get through it. I know that. I know that grief is not a straight line and it's a process and it comes up at very inconvenient times and all of the things. But I was like, what advice do you have? How did you get through it? Because I just can't imagine my life without Charlie. I've never had an adult life without Charlie. So I can't visibly see it. And that makes things really hard for me. So I said, how did you do it? And I was talking about that and how like I can't visualize the next chapter. And he was like, it's like Super Mario Brothers, where, and I'm like, okay, please continue. How is my sadness like Super Mario Brothers? But he was talking about how you go through the level and you're in the water and you think that's life because you're surrounded by it. And then you complete the level and all of a sudden you're in a totally new world that doesn't look anything like water anymore, but you're still you. And you still bring all your coins and everything that you gained in your lives and whatnot from the last one. And then you move on in a world that looks completely different. And yet you're still the same. And I'm like, that's weird and yet wildly comforting. It was a game changer for me. And so now when I'm like struggling.
Intentionally a pun? It's a game changer for you?
Damn it. It's happening involuntarily now. So I'm going to still take credit for it. But no, I did not catch that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good though.
But when now I'm struggling, he just tells me, he just says, you're not in the water level anymore. And it like is really comforting. And so now I think about beginnings and endings as like, it's just a moving on. It's just a new level.
Yeah.
Nothing has actually ended.
While we wrap up season 1 so beautifully with the many lives that have come across that we've talked about in this podcast, really quickly, 30 seconds, give me what you are grateful for 2023 and what you're hopeful for 2024.
I am most grateful for the people in my life. They have brought me through.
You took mine.
We can both be grateful for people. More than ever, they brought me through the tough times. They lifted me up in my highs, my great times. My people were the example of my success this year. Yeah. Of all the work I've put into being a person that has these types of relationships and supporting them myself, right? So that's definitely the big one. And what was the other? What am I looking for 2024?
Yes.
Thriving. My foundation is set. My stability is set. I am a capable adult human person. Upward and onward, like you said. I see 2024 as a real upward growth year for me.
That's exciting. 2023 was same thing. The people around me, the company, the staff, my family, all of my family. The wedding was really that precursor or that it painted the picture of the people we love so dearly. Friends, family, colleagues. It was a beautiful mix of people. So the people I'm very grateful for in 2023. 2024, fucking crushing it. I'm so excited to see what is entailed. Like some of the clients that we currently have just been really just doing so good in their business. Considering all the challenges of last year and financial changes in our economy. And then the new ones that we just recently brought on, it's just, I was talking to them on the way over here and I'm going, this is going to be a really fun project, right? So 2024, I think, is just going to be a year of just crushing it. And, we can always crush it with just maintaining that excitement of stability. Those words are not often used interchangeably, but I'm very excited for the stability this company is going to have. And I'm excited for the new challenges that we're going to face. So 2024 is going to be a great year. So
stability is far sexier than people think it is.
Absolutely. Last words from Jace for 2023. Thank you all so much for a phenomenal season. Season 1 has been such a joy. Thank you for seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly of producing a podcast together. But most importantly, thank you. Thank you for listening. You're the reason why we are constantly producing these really phenomenal shows. My thanks to Jace, my thanks to Justin, and most importantly, thanks to the entire team at Siarza for letting us do this for Story Success and stuff. We are looking for guests. We're looking for commentary. We're looking for more involvement from you, the listener, for season 2. So if you want to subscribe, don't forget to visit Siarza.com. Don't forget to also like us, share us on your favorite social media channel, and most importantly, thank you for being a great listener of Stories, Success, and Stuff, Season 1. Have a good one.